Remember when you were a little, innocent, and precious, foolish child, watching High School Musical or any other Disney show and think, whoa, high school. A place in which we will have so many adventures, there's so much excitement and fun. We'll be all grown up and we'll get our licenses and oh my god, are those lokers? We're all dying to sing. We're all in this together in the highways while a rainbow magically appeared with a unicorn at the end, and we walked away from an explosion with sunglasses into the sunrise. And I know, sounds awesome, but reality might be just a little different. You see, you finally make it to high school. It's really not so bad. Teachers are taking it easy and nothing seems so difficult about high school. But oh my dear child, you're wrong. September comes. Now, this is high school. Yeah, hate to break it to you, but no one sings in the highways, and unicorns aren't real. But the lokers are there. And so, similarly to how our hopes and dreams for a perfect high school experience die in September, also known as the beginning of autumn, in The Great Gatsby, Fitzgerald Scott uses autumn to visually represent Gatsby's fall from grace and the destructive effects dreams can have. The Great Gatsby, the story of a rich, depressed, white dude who is deeply in love with a woman he knows he can have. Daisy Buchanan, with whom he had a thing earlier in life, but is now married to another man and even has a daughter. However, this doesn't stop him to try hard. Too hard. Like too hard. To get her to fall in love with him, using money, lies, and even Leonardo DiCaprio's face. But the story, however, is told by his good, totally sincere, objective, non-biased friend, who's none other than Nick, I'm not like other rich people, Caraway, cousin of the already married woman that Gatsby desperately wants to have, make her fall in love with him, but we don't talk about that. Whose only remarkable attributions in the story, funny enough, are when he's helping Gatsby get what he wants. How romantic for them. For them. Hold up. How does this possibly represent that dreams are destructive? Daisy is just YN, living the dream of being stuck by a rich, handsome man because she's just that pretty and that lucky. If anything, this is something to be desired. A story of love. And what does Autumn have to do with anything? And I'm getting there, jeez. So to understand the decay and toxicity, toxicity Toxicity of dreams are represented in The Great Gatsby. We need to first understand a couple of basic things. 1. Gatsby's love for Daisy was not only an obsession, but it was also most likely linked to the fact that Daisy is from a wealthy family and therefore has a high position in society. So, having her love him and eventually marry him would automatically lead to him having a desired by other men beautiful wife, who comes from a higher status that would be shared with Gatsby once marry him, making them a stereotypically happy and wealthy family, which leads to point 2. Them being a stereotypically happy and wealthy family is the rule of achieving the infamous American dream, the ultimate goal in a person's life. So her loving him would mean he has reached his goal in life of success and therefore happiness, which Gatsby has desperately wanted and chased since a very young age. Now that we know that Gatsby is chasing not Daisy, but the American dream, whether he realizes or not, we can show how the pursuit of this dream and its concept as a whole is destructed by the ending of the book and how F. Scott Fitzgerald uses autumn to show this. So to get a general picture of things, a good bunch of the book happens in summer, and it's during this period of time that Daisy and Gatsby are reunited and living their best life in secret, being helped by Nick and Jordan, who are also having a little love story going on. I don't know. This period of time is full of parties and celebrations. Lots of getting drunk on Nick's side. Well, Gatsby it's at its best, since he had never been closer to reach his dreams. So much so he can hardly believe this is all real, and he's so happy he could jump out of the window while doing a backflip and landing a full-on split while juggling three puppies. It's all awesome and full of life. But as every high school student has learned, A's in math don't last, and neither does happiness. And this is where the last and hardest day on summer happens, in which truths about Gatsby are exposed, and after this, autumn comes completely into the picture. Now, if summer is seen as lively and joyful, autumn is often used to symbolize decay in literature. Since autumn equals leaves falling, very creative if you ask me. And The Great Gatsby is no exception of this. Since the decay of many of the characters' arcs, dreams, and the story in general take place in autumn. For instance, there is a scene towards the end of the book where Gatsby and Nick were talking, and Nick points out that the night had made a sharp difference in the weather and there was an autumn flavor in the air. Now, if we revise where we are at in the book, this is an indication that the story is shifting moods from a glamorous and happy summer full of passion and a long lost love being revived to a way more depressed autumn. At this point, nothing exciting or happy is happening to any of the characters. Instead, we have the decay of most dreams going on, such as Daisy's and Gatsby's gut-shot dream to run away together, or Myrtle's hopes for a better life, which were run over by a well, damn. Am I right? Because she was like, you know. Anyway, in conclusion, nobody's doing great during autumn, especially not Gatsby, who's chased and chased a dream, but now the last leaves of his tree are falling. And eventually, the end comes and all leaves fall. When George Wilson shoots Gatsby in his pool, Fitzgerald Scott decided to point out that the touch of a cluster of leaves revolved it's slowly, racing like the leg of transit a thin red circle in the water. The leaves surrounding the blood are an indication of the end of life, since when leaves fall, they are detached from their stem and fall to the floor to dry and rot. And in this case, Gatsby is the leaf. This takes more meaning if we recall Jordan's quote about autumn, in which she says, life starts all over again when it gets crisp in the fall. And we can take this as an indication of things going back to normal after the fall. As Tom and Daisy are back together, Jordan and Nick go back to their own lives, but Gatsby doesn't, because he did not survive autumn, and he could not have a starting over. It's the end of his cycle. After years of blinded obsession of trying to reach the unreachable, this is the result. Nothing but leaves in the floor left to rot. And that is how dreams can destroy someone, by wanting them bad enough to do anything it takes to detach from reality until autumn comes and you fall so hard you can't survive it. And all because everyone told you that was happiness. Thank you for listening. Have a nice day.